something, because this stuff right here is not right. This is what they're saying. They are saying Shirley, and I saw Sheryl Underwood, she came out and said, this is the new generation of roast. And I think she lost her mind. I think she sold herself out because she got a deal from it. But guess what? Guess who not selling out? Dave Chappelle. They are saying that Dave Chappelle got more stuff to say about Kevin Hart. I came across this video. Let's react and see what's really going on. Are y'all ready? Let's like, share, and subscribe, and check this video out with me.
You've done good, though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you right now. George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
They're doing. Do you feel like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd? It's Tony Hinchcliffe. Yeah. I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
That Kevin Hart roast is being talked about everywhere. And now there are reports that Dave Chappelle is upset with Kevin for backing some of the comedians who appeared during the event. And according to people close to the situation, the issue is not only about the George Floyd joke. Some reports claim a big part of the tension comes from the comments that were made about Sheryl Underwood. Here's a closer look at what people have been reacting to.
Hold up, let me know. No, let me talk. Her husband committed suicide 3 years into their marriage. I've been sitting next to her for 2 hours, and I have to ask, how did he last that long?
You're going to go against my husband taking his life. Let's talk about mental health and mental illness and things like that. I thought it was odd. Why are you shooting at the big dog? But as they say, you shoot at the king and you miss. Well, they shot at the queen and they missed, and I lit them up.
Kevin Hart has been facing heavy criticism for allowing several controversial jokes to remain part of the Netflix roast. One of the biggest talking points involved Tony Hinchcliffe, who made a joke about Sheryl Underwood's late husband, who died in 1990 after struggling with depression. The moment quickly got people talking online and sparked strong reactions from viewers. Hinchcliffe also made a joke referencing George Floyd, and many viewers focused on Kevin's reaction during the roast. That moment became another major source of criticism and added even more attention to the controversy. Shane Gillis also drew attention after making a joke involving a lynching reference.
I'm going to be up here saying a lot of just terrible things tonight, but yeah, you guys like that? But not me. I'm not going to be doing that. I've got a nice PG short joke that I'd like you guys to be a part of, okay? Kevin's so short that they're going to have to lynch him from a bonsai tree.
Critics pointed to Kevin's positive reaction and argued that it showed approval of material they felt crossed a line. As for Sheryl Underwood, she handled the situation calmly. She told ET that she was not offended, but she also said it was unusual that Tony Hinchcliffe chose that particular joke. Meanwhile, much of the criticism has been directed at Kevin Hart. Since he was both the headliner and a producer of the roast, some people argued that he shares responsibility for the content that aired on the platform. A lot of critics say the biggest problem was not just that the jokes were controversial. In their view, the material simply did not land.
I was doing sketches that were funny, but socially irresponsible.
Many people argue that dark humor can work when it is clever and well-written, but relying mainly on shock value is where they feel the performance fell short. Before the roast even took place, Michael Che reportedly decided not to participate. Later, he revealed that the writing room was made up mostly of white writers. That detail sparked even more discussion online, especially since the roast was connected to Kevin Hart's production team. The controversy grew further when Kevin appeared on The Breakfast Club and defended Tony Hinchcliffe.
George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience, but our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. You get why the racial humor is on the table. Like, it's not, I wasn't shocked. Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey man, that joke. We move on.
That interview quickly became another major topic of debate among fans and critics. Some viewers also felt Kevin's comments were inconsistent.
Shit, that's a different conversation. It's nothing I can do. It's a production. It's a live production. I'm not compromising the live production for a reaction of what? What do you want me to do? I'm going to drag him off? You want me to fight afterwards? You want me to turn it into like what? That's not what I agreed to do. That's not the job at hand.
At one point, he emphasized it's our production, which many interpreted as him taking ownership of the project. But moments later, critics say he sounded as if he had little control over what jokes made it into the final show. That contrast became a talking point across social media. The situation also brought renewed attention to an older controversy from 2019. After past tweets resurfaced following his announcement as the Oscars host, Kevin faced accusations of making offensive remarks. He apologized and stepped down from hosting the ceremony. In the months that followed, he addressed the issue in multiple interviews and public appearances, continuing to explain his position and express regret while responding to criticism from various groups and commentators.
I'm a little upset because I know who I am. I know I don't have a homophobic bone in my body. I know that I've addressed it. I know that I've apologized. I don't want to step on that stage and make that night about me and my past.
Critics have pointed to what they see as a contradiction in Kevin Hart's approach to controversy. They argue that past offensive tweets were treated as a serious issue that required public apologies, while some of the jokes featured during the roast have been defended as something people should simply move past. That comparison has become a major part of the debate surrounding the event. Supporters of Kevin note that he did not personally tell the jokes in question. However, critics continue to emphasize that he was closely involved with the production and had a leadership role in the project. Because of that, some believe he shares responsibility for the material that appeared on stage. As the discussion has grown, several Black comedians and commentators have reportedly weighed in, with Dave Chappelle's name frequently being brought into the conversation. Over the years, Chappelle has spoken publicly about his experiences in the entertainment industry. He has described concerns he had during his time at Comedy Central and said he became uncomfortable with certain types of comedy that he felt could be interpreted in harmful ways. According to Chappelle's own account, he reached a point where he felt some audience members were reacting differently than he intended.
Like there's this one sketch we did that was about this pixie that would appear whenever things happen. Whenever someone make you feel like they calling you that N-word, but don't say it. But the pixie was in blackface because this was going to be the visual personification of the N-word. But what I didn't consider is the way people use television is subjective. So then when I'm on the set and we're finally taping the sketch, somebody on the set that was white laughed in such a way, and was the first time I'd ever gotten a laugh that I was uncomfortable with.
He has spoken about wanting to avoid situations where stereotypes became the focus rather than the larger message behind the comedy. That history is why some commentators draw comparisons between Chappelle's past decisions and the current criticism aimed at Kevin Hart. Others push back on those comparisons and argue the situations are far more complicated. Some critics have even suggested that both comedians have faced similar debates about their work at different points in their careers. Many people have also started revisiting the discussion around Dave Chappelle's appearance at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. For some critics, it raised questions about how much his current career choices align with positions he expressed years ago. Others argue that people and circumstances change over time, making those comparisons more complicated than they first appear. At the same time, the conversation has shifted back toward Kevin Hart, because Dave Chappelle is not the only person whose past comments are being brought up. A growing number of people are revisiting what Katt Williams said during his appearance on Club Shay Shay. In that interview, Katt described Kevin as an industry plant and suggested that powerful figures in entertainment helped accelerate his rise because he was viewed as someone who fit their preferred image. Supporters of Kevin strongly disagree with that claim and point to his years of stand-up work, acting roles, and business ventures as evidence that he earned his success. Still, Katt's comments continue to generate discussion because they touched on larger questions about how the entertainment industry operates behind the people who agree with Katt's argument. The issue was never simply about personal rivalry between comedians. They believe he was making a broader point about what kinds of personalities and viewpoints are often rewarded by major entertainment companies. Some critics have also questioned where the line is drawn when it comes to controversial comedy. They argue that certain topics seem to receive more scrutiny than others, while supporters of those restrictions say some subjects require additional sensitivity because of their historical and social impact. That debate remains at the center of many of the reactions surrounding Kevin Hart and the roast. According to critics who share Katt Williams' perspective, major entertainment companies tend to reward people they see as dependable and easy to work with. Their argument is that success in the industry is not always just about talent. They believe public image, business relationships, and a willingness to adapt to industry expectations can also play a major role in who gets promoted and supported. Those critics often point to Kevin Hart's response during the Oscars. After facing backlash over resurfaced tweets, Kevin publicly apologized and spoke about the issue in numerous interviews. Many observers saw that as an effort to address concerns and move forward, while others viewed it as an example of someone responding quickly to public and industry pressure. Supporters of this argument frequently compare that situation to Dave Chappelle's decision years earlier to walk away from a major deal. To them, the contrast represents two very different approaches to handling pressure and expectations in the entertainment world. Chappelle's supporters argued that his decision showed a willingness to reject opportunities when he felt uncomfortable with the direction things were heading. Others disagree with these comparisons and say the situations involved different circumstances entirely. Even so, the debate continues because it connects to larger questions about power, influence, and success in the industry. For some commentators, these discussions support Katt Williams' broader claim that the system often rewards certain behaviors while discouraging others. But amid all the arguments surrounding Kevin Hart and the roast, many viewers ended up focusing on Sheryl Underwood. Despite being the subject of several harsh jokes throughout the event, she remained composed and confident when it was her turn to take the stage.
You think you hurt my feelings by talking about my dead husband? My husband only died once. You die every night with them whack-ass jokes you be telling.
What happened next became one of the most talked about moments of the night. Sheryl delivered a performance that many viewers praised as sharp, confident, and memorable. While others were generating headlines with controversial jokes, she won attention through her stage presence and experience. Many people felt she reminded the audience exactly why she has remained a respected figure in comedy and entertainment for so many years. And that's where things got even more interesting. While social media was busy arguing about Kevin Hart, Tony Hinchcliffe, and the rest of the roast, a lot of people started pointing out that Sheryl Underwood ended up looking better than almost everyone involved. The jokes aimed at her got plenty of attention, but her response got even more. Instead of getting pulled into a public feud, she stayed cool and kept it moving. That approach earned respect from a lot of viewers who felt she handled the situation with class, while everyone else was caught up in the drama. Meanwhile, the backlash surrounding the roast kept growing. Clips started spreading across social media, and people were breaking down every moment frame by frame. Some defended the comedians and said a roast is supposed to push boundaries. Others argued that certain jokes crossed a line and should never have made it into the final show. What really had people talking was the difference in reactions. Some controversial topics seemed to get immediate criticism, while other jokes were brushed off as just comedy. That double standard became a major part of the conversation.
And for Kevin Hart, that's the problem he can't seem to shake. Every time he tries to explain the roast, more people start asking questions about responsibility, leadership, and who ultimately approved what made it to the stage. The more he talks, the more the debate keeps growing, and critics are not letting the issue disappear anytime soon. The situation became even bigger when people started looking beyond the roast itself and focusing on what it says about the current state of comedy. For years, comedians have argued over where the line should be drawn, and this controversy dropped right into the middle of that debate. Some performers believe nothing should be off limits as long as the joke is funny and the audience understands the context. Others argue that comedians still have to consider how certain topics are presented, especially when those subjects involve real tragedies or painful historical events. The roast reignited that argument almost overnight. What made the situation stand out was that the conversation stopped being just about the comedians who delivered the jokes. Instead, attention shifted toward the people running the production and making decisions behind the scenes. That is why Kevin Hart's name remained at the center of the controversy long after the event ended. At the same time, supporters of Kevin pushed back against the criticism. They argued that roasts have always featured provocative humor, and that judging a roast by the standards of a traditional comedy special misses the point. According to that view, the audience knows what kind of event they are watching before it even begins. But critics were not convinced. Their argument was that being a roast does not automatically shield every joke from scrutiny. As the debate continued online, one thing became clear. The roast had turned into something much bigger than a single night of comedy. It had become a flashpoint in an ongoing conversation about entertainment, accountability, and who gets to decide where the boundaries are. Now, I want to hear what you think about this entire situation. How do you feel about Kevin Hart defending some of the controversial jokes that were featured during the roast? Do you think people are reading too much into it? Or do you believe this controversy revealed something bigger about how the entertainment industry operates behind the scenes? Do you think Kevin was simply supporting the format of a roast, or should he have taken a different approach as both a performer and producer? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate has people divided from every angle.